Hi folks, welcome to my Pit Retro Journal. This is, again, I'm at my office because the renovations that are happening at home. So this is my Q68. I haven't used it that much, but I'm actually going to hook it into my work computer today. And I wanted to, I sort of had this plan all along and running into a little bit of difficulty, and I wanted to sort of demonstrate to you those difficulties. But first off, I just wanted to again reintroduce you to the Q68. What I have here is I have so I've got a USB keyboard and mouse, and you can see the mouse kind of works and the keyboard works, and it actually works really well. I actually have a it's a triplet USB to PS2 because the Q68 uses PS2 as its connectors, and I have to have a splitter that splits the mouse and the keyboard. And then it has a VGA to the monitor. And then I also have this little, let's see if I can show it. I have this, so this is a little power switch. So if I turn this down, it actually turns off the, so what this is I have a, let me see if I can put this on camera. So this is the power brick. And then this is my extension cable, and then this sort of goes in between, and it just kind of turns the switch on or off. So it's kind of handy to have. Let me put this back to where I found it. But yeah, so I can use the switch to turn things on or off. So if I turn it back on, and the Q68 turns on, and again, oh, I think no, I think the switch, maybe the switch, that was weird. But so the Q68 is on, and again, the mouse works, and the keyboard works, and it actually works really well. What the issue is, that took me a while to debug on the Q68 was, this wasn't the first. I bought this for like $30 on eBay, but these usually are closer to $100. And I had originally found a whole slew of really inexpensive $8 ones, and it's by Black Box, which is right here. And these, let me show you what they do. And again, I'm just going to turn this off. I'm going to unplug this. And put the black box one in here. And again, there's no order. You just plug the USB and PS2 in, it'll figure out. I mean, the keyboard and mouse, and it doesn't have to have a particular order. And then these go. This is the keyboard. And this is the mouse. All right. And then I turn it back on before the monitor turns off. And here we are. Back to same thing we had before. Let me just make sure that this is sets up. Here's the difference now. If I use the mouse still works. But it's the keyboard that at one point it gets really confused about its buffer, input buffer. And sometimes it takes a little bit. You just have to, of course now it's working beautifully. Yeah, it's starting to, you can see it's starting to pause. But at one point, not only does it pause, but it just gives you, yeah, it already did it. The X is down here, right? Yeah. Oops. Oh, so now this key doesn't work. No control break. Yeah, and so space works, but the control key doesn't. So it just starts misbehaving, and at one point it just gives you weird characters too. And Peter Graf, who created the Q68, actually sent him a whole batch of those because they were so inexpensive. And the mouse should still work. And he actually debugged it and realized that, yeah, so now there's nothing happening. At one point, it gives you weird characters too. It should be giving you weird characters. But, so I can't break anymore because that doesn't work. Yeah. And so, yeah, so this is, yeah, what's frustrating is, no, I can't even. So there's no way to, yeah, so it's not even backspacing anymore. Oh, yeah. No, it's still giving, because at one point it would just give crap characters too, so it hasn't done that yet. So it's, yeah, I can't get it to, I don't think it's dependent on the keyboard. But anyway, Peter Graf, like I said, so this doesn't work. Now if I turn it on and off, let it reboot. So now this part works again, but let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Oh, so now it's doing a repeat. That's the other thing it was doing. Yep. Good. Finally, and to get the mouse involved. Oh, but it's repeating. So that's what it was doing, is that this thing just starts miscommunicating with it's sending incorrect PS2 signals. And I think I've even had trouble on an older PCs with that when I wanted to hook USB to it. So this is the problem that I saw before. And it just, yeah. And it even will get you junk characters at once. No, that doesn't do that. Yeah, so in any case, it's a little bit random, but again, if turning this off, the triplet one is stable. Now, what Peter did is he actually changed the FPGA code, maybe the timing on it, so that this thing would work. But he lives in England, or I think it's Germany actually, and I didn't want to have to send my Q68 back. This was before the pandemic actually, but I still didn't want to send it all the way back, and so I ended up just trying to find a replacement one, and I found this triplet one on eBay for $30. And again, we gotta hurry up before the monitor shuts down because it's a pain in the butt. And we just gotta plug these guys in. 17 seconds. Okay. Bring this up, and then if we turn this back on, again, boots up. Mouse works. And again, this time, this is solid, and you're not going to get any weirdness happen. So this will always work. And is it all still in frame? Yeah. So, yeah. So definitely this black box, the repeats is actually what caused me deja vu, because recently, what I want to show you is that I recently was setting up my work machine. So I have a couple of servers under the table, and I was setting them up, and I was getting the same thing. And what I was using was not black box. Now this particular USB to PS2 converter was actually designed for their black box KVM switch. And what I have under the table is actually a KVM switch that allows me to switch between two computers. And I set up a new machine that doesn't have native PS2 on it, so I had to use my KVM. I have I'll show you this, but I have a PS2 keyboard, which is my Dell keyboard with built-in trackball. And what I want to do is, what I actually want to do is hook the Q68 up to one side of the KVM switch, and then the Windows 10 machine on the other side. But and in the past I've had a Linux machine, but while I'm tinkering here, the Q68 might be cool to have. But yeah, I'm getting key repeats on the Windows side, and it just felt very similar to this. So let me reset all this up, and so when I come back, the Q68 will be under the table. You won't see it, and I'll have my Dell keyboard with PS2. And so the way it's hooked up is I have a Dell keyboard PS2 to a KVM switches, which uses PS2 and VGA, to the Q68, which is PS2, but then to the I have an HP Pavilion HPE, which is an iCore 7, and it uses only USB, so I need to use the inverse of this, which is a PS2 to USB. And I'm not sure if it's the KVM PS2 switch or the inverse converter, which is not made by Blackbox. It's just a generic one. And so you'll see what I get. All right, so I'm going to be back. Okay, I'm back. This time I've got my Dell keyboard and it works. So this works fine, and the mouse also works. Again, this is not going through any translation, so it's just PS2 to PS2. It's a again, a Linksys KVM switch. Takes me to Windows. I've got Notepad open, and here's where the problem lies. Let me do the following. I'm going to turn the Q68 off. Go back to the other, and here works just fine. Yeah, so the keyboard works fine, and no problems. Does a repeat and everything. But if I go back and if I turn the computer on, again, everything here works. The mouse sometimes, I don't know why it takes, oh, there it is. Keyboard works. Now if I go back, what you'll see is it just starts repeating. And this is not because I have the Q68 on the other side. And if I turn it off, actually, I think I just have to leave it, come back. I'm still doing it. Hold on, let me get out of it. Nope. Usually with the computer off, maybe I have to, oh, it's not. Yeah, sometimes it gets itself in a really bad state to where it can't fix itself. Cancel. No. Let's try it again. Let's see, going back to the other side. That's still doing it. Yeah, once it gets into the state, it's hard to sometimes. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's stopped, but maybe it's just filling a buffer in. But okay, so that works. There we go. So now we have. So yeah, it just takes a while for it to reset. Now. Yeah, so now it works perfectly again, and yeah, not sure what's going on, but here now, what I have is again PS2 to KVM switch. That's a Linksys PS2 KVM switch, and into the HP Pavilion HPE, I have a PS2 to USB converter. Those have less logic in there than these guys. This actually has a little circuit board in there if I opened it up. So those there's much, maybe there's a little chip in there, but in the other ones, but they're not as bulky as this because they have very little logic in there. So I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but is it now I've tried this with a Linux distribution as opposed to Windows 10 on the HPE, as well as I had a Windows 7 installation disk, and even in that it does it. So it's not Windows 10 related. I know there's some forum posts about how Windows 10 and 11 can't deal with KVM switches and do the repeats, but this just seems to be purely based on the hardware. And so it's either the USB ports on the HP Pavilion HPE, or more likely that particular PS2 to USB converter, because what I've learned obviously is with both the black box versus this one, the protocols actually are not the same. This one does it correctly, this one does it incorrectly, and maybe I need to find a different PS2 to USB converter. But it's really frustrating that PS2 is such a nebulous protocol that there's enough wiggle room to where people can do whatever they want. Again, I don't remember what Peter said, who fixed this one for the Q68 when he reprogrammed the FPGA, but he said I think it was a timing issue or something, that where this thing didn't follow protocol. And so, so the way around this now is, if I want to do if I want to have the Q68 on it, luckily the way I would probably use it is I wouldn't have the Q68 on all the time, but I can just switch it on and start playing with this. It's a nice screen. It's a nice crisp picture, and this has some cool stuff on there. And there's more. But yeah, so I as long as I keep the Q68 turned off when I'm using the Windows 10 machine, I should be fine. I think as the last thing I'll do is I'll run this. I've shown this before, but this is kind of cool. This shows you that the QL's latest, this is called the Black Phoenix, and it's going to have a cool animation. And this is the QL's graphical interface based on the pointer environment. I still haven't gotten the knack for it because it's really confusing how it. It feels like it's a collection of programs that people have written, and they each use the elements of the pointer environment in their own way. So you close windows differently depending on who wrote the program. It's a little frustrating. It's definitely not, what you expect in the Windows world, where, if you go here, you have your close, maximize, minimize, move window. You don't have that on the Q68 because, so here it's created a nice background. It's going to create sort of the menu. The mouse does work. And this middle window is going to go away here in a second. But yet all these are just independent little utilities that are written by other people, and they do their own thing. So they're just completely unique. So if I go and right click on System, it just adds this, and I can't ever get rid of it. It adds this, and then it adds these folders. But then this, I don't know how to get rid of it. There's no close box. There's no. You can't even move it. I believe this is just a command shell, so I can go dir win1, does that. And then these folders, you can double click on them, so they act like folders. But and then you can move this by clicking on that and moving it. But again, not all of them work that way. And then you have games. Sure, I see. And you have different games like Minefield. Favorite game, use defaults. Okay, yeah. And so play a game of Minefield. I guess it's and I already lost. But yeah, so you have to hold that down. But this one has an X to close it, whereas that closes it. Whereas this one, you have to go and close it. So like I said, it's a little frustrating. And did I open the 2 copies, or is it closed? So yeah, it's a little different. But anyway, I wanted to end with this. Certainly, my Q68 doesn't have any issues if I have the Windows 10 working, but obviously the resolution in the Windows 10 is 19.2, whereas it's 102768 here, so you have slightly lower resolution, but still kind of nice to have both systems up and running. In any case, that's all I really wanted to share with you today, my PS2 problems. If you have any that you've encountered, post about them, because I'd love to know whether or not I should just get a new PS2 to USB converter. Maybe that'll fix my keyboard repeats on the Windows 10. Otherwise, I'm hoping to have a Q68 on one end and the Windows 10 on the other, so that, anytime I have a break at the office, I can go and explore. I really want to learn more about this environment, because it's frustrating that it's, there's lots of options and I don't know necessarily how to use it. I do know if I do this, it'll reset the QL, yes. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like my new setup. Comment on that as well, and I'll see you next time.